Not what I want, it's what you want, right?
What, you don't believe me?
You're the all-star, right? You're the Superman. We have to go now! Now! Do anything.
Hey, Grandpa. What are you reading?
Oh, it's a poem by a guy named William Blake. It's called Little Boy Lost.
Ryan! Ryan! Where are you?
It's about a young boy who follows his dad into the forest and then falls behind.
This isn't funny.
But it's not really about a little boy. It's really about lost innocence, about a child lured into the material world with the promise of perfection.
Ryan! Come on!
Funny thing is, Brian Williams could have told you that too.
Who is Brian Williams?
He's a basketball star who used to read Blake. Like the poet, he knew a thing or two about loneliness and vanishing fathers. Listen to this. The night was dark, no father was there. The child was wet with dew.
The center has notified his team he's leaning toward retirement at age 30.
The mire was deep, and the child did weep, and away the vapor flew. Caught in the whirlwind of NBA stardom, blinded by its glare, Williams chose to flee. Now that may or may not explain why he and his girlfriend, his brother, and a ship's captain were sailing the South Pacific on that fateful July of 2002. But it certainly doesn't explain what happened there. Nor does it reveal the terrible secret of that journey, why only one of the four was ever seen again.
Are you with me?
There was a tension.
Driven by hate, jealousy.
You're thinking that no one is ever going to believe you. What do?
I want to know the truth. I've been through a lot of hell, too.
In a world of uncertainty, sports is a small island of clarity, a rock of absolutes. One winner, one loser. That is what we love about the games. Over the years, I've covered my share of resounding triumphs and stinging defeats. But today, I'm drawn beyond the teeming arenas and the adoring crowds to those darker mysteries that camp like ghosts, beyond the comforting message of the scoreboard. I'm Bill Knack, and this is the arena of Unsettled Scores.
Or a VW.
People say that, well, he doesn't love the game. Basketball is not in my blood like a lot of the guys you talk to.
He was Brian Williams for most of his career. Towards the end, he changed his name to Bison Dealey, a tribute to his Native American roots. Most of his friends continue to call him Brian. And I think I'll stick with that, too. Brian's NBA career peaked in '97 when he helped Michael Jordan's Chicago Bulls win their 5th straight championship.
He was huge for us. I think he fit right in. I don't think that was the case on some of the other teams.
The Chicago spotlight made him rich, gilding him with a $40 million contract to play for the Detroit Pistons. Billed as a missing key to a title, Williams seemed to melt around the wick of his own unwanted stardom.
I knew that when Detroit signed him, they were getting a player who was worth that kind of money physically, but not emotionally.
Eventually, he said he felt like a performing monkey running up and down the court.
How could a man who'd attained so much bear such contempt for the game that had made him? Was he just cynical, as some perceived? Or was he really the ultimate romantic, willing to risk all for love and adventure?
The Orlando Magic selects Brian Williams from the University of Arizona.
Initially, everyone's happy that you made it to the NBA. Along with that, family members start to assume that you should take care of him.
I didn't see any gratefulness at all from his family. Brian went out and bought his father, bought him a $20,000 motorcycle. And his father said, "Son, next time just give me the cash."
Williams turned himself into a manic bon vivant and world traveler, riding camels in Egypt, running with the bulls in Spain. After the '99 season, he flitted off to Beirut, Lebanon, never to return to the NBA. At the age of 30, he announced his retirement.
You see a guy that can't stand being in cities anymore. Bungee jumping, skydiving. He was a seeker of thrill. But then again, the more he learned about himself, the more he realized the loneliness he's made of.
He became a 6'11" nomad with a fortune in the bank. He headed to the Far East, to Indonesia, then the Philippines, and finally Australia. There he learned to sail. He bought a boat and christened her Hakuna Matata.
That's Swahili for no worries. But half a world away, there was reason to worry. It came on a crisp blue morning.
He was still down under when the terrorists attacked New York. Clearly concerned, he called an old Manhattan flame of his, Serena Carlin, and invited her to paradise for 2 weeks. She stayed for 8, after which she reluctantly flew home.
She was back in New York, and he called her up, and he said, I think we have something here.
He invited Serena to join him on a year-long cruise. She hesitated, and not even a $50,000 check from Brian, money to help settle her affairs, convinced her. At least, not at first.
She was saying, what do you think? And I said, what you wouldn't want to do is wake up at age 40 and wonder what that would have been. It's one of those moments where you wish you'd said something different.
Serena rejoined Brian in June of 2002. But as they fitted the Hakuna Matata with supplies for a 2,500-mile sail from Tahiti to Hawaii, Brian's older brother, Kevin, who had also changed his name to Miles DeBoard, showed up unannounced with, of all things, his weightlifting barbells. On July 7, with Petron Saldo at the helm, the party of 4 pushed out of the harbor. They never made it to Hawaii.
Just 9 days later, the Hakuna Matata was back in Tahiti. It had been repainted and its name changed to Bella Aria. One thing hadn't changed. It was still registered to Brian Williams.
I said, what's so complicated about it? Where are they?